Let's see, let's see. And we are live. We are live.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad that here with me is Aisha. Aisha, thank you very much for joining. How are you?
Of course, I'm good. Thanks. Thanks, Pietro, for the invite, and I'm very happy to be on your channel today.
Yeah, it's super good. And Aisha collected some resumes, and I did collect some resume myself as well. And so we're gonna take the chance during this time together to go through your resume and analyzing them a little bit, see what works better, what maybe can be improved, and of course, answering any of the question of whoever will join us.
Exactly. So don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat box, and we'll answer them.
That's perfect. Okay, so let me start sharing the some of the resume, and at the same time, let's see. And of course, when people start joining, please let us know if you can hear properly, if you can see us, and everything. Okay. Now let's take some resume, for example. All right. So this is the first example that I would like to take and to make while we are waiting for some of the people to join, because let me even double check if people can see that on YouTube.
Yes, I'm double checking too.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, we're live.
Okay, we're live. We can see. Usually there is like a 30 seconds between. Yeah, we have usually between 30 seconds and 1 minute like delay.
Exactly.
So, but it's all good. It's all good. So in the meantime, let's talk about a little bit the profiles of people of the CVs that we're gonna go through and have a look in this live. So let's start with people that reached out to you, Aisha. What profile do we will see?
Perfect. So we actually got a couple of different interesting profiles. We got people with a background in human rights and law. So we got lawyers. We got people that are focused in interior design. We got also people that are mostly focused on strategic leadership and business, as well as people that have a background in health studies. So we had someone that's in psychology and someone else that was matching public health with policy and data analysis. What about you, Pietro? What resumes did you get?
That's pretty cool. So we can span from something pretty technical to something more in the human science sector. Then we have lawyers. So very nice. I'm gonna be much more focused on one niche because I'm gonna do a webinar for future and new graduate in petroleum science, let's say. So petroleum engineer mostly. So I will have a bunch of CVs from them, and that I will go through maybe some of them during this live, and maybe some of them in the future lives as well. So I think we gave pretty good time for people to start joining.
Exactly.
And I think
to make sure the video is going to be recorded after it. So
the video is going to be recorded, so everything is going to be on YouTube, and so no problem. Whoever will lose the live session with us, of course, he or she can go through the video that will be then on my profile.
Perfect.
Very good. So let's share the first resume about this guy.
I don't know him. Do you know him, Pietro?
So, and this is just to give people who are watching like an idea of the two kinds of resume that we would like to see and we would like to create. So this is a visual resume, as you can see. So a pretty good impact. And of course, we can have many different types of visual resume, but what we want to see is career always first. If you have even a minimum work experience, please put that first. And then anti-chronological order. So all of your experiences from the most recent one to the past one. At the same time, we would like to see skills, education, and this is, and the most important thing that you will hear me saying that so many times is that we want the CV to be 1 page long. So, in a nutshell, 1 page long. Career first, then education, if you have some career experience, and within the career, try to come up with numerical results for
Perfect.
and this is okay. And then we're gonna go through maybe some of the more fancy things, but we will go through that. And of course, for all the people connected, if you have any questions and you gave us your resume, just let us know in the chat so that we know, and we start from your CVs. So this is the first model, let's say the visual one, the one that I like the most. There are certain situations in which we might want to send another type of resume, which is a more classical one. So one which is made on Word, where we don't even have the picture. Of course, I could add the picture here, but it's not that important. And as you can see, this is a little bit more old-fashioned, a little bit more classy and classical. Why do we want to do this in some occasions? Because there could be the chance that the company that is selecting us, they use a system which is called ATS, Applicants Tracking System, which is basically a bot, a computer that will go automatically through all of the resumes that we sent, and it will look for some specific characteristics, some specific words, and according to that, it will pass from, 1,000, 2,000 resumes to just a pool of 100, 120 resumes that will actually be looked by a man, flesh and bones, so a human being.
So exactly, to make sure for the viewers, so it's artificial intelligence that's looking at your resumes, and it's not a human being that's looking at it. That's why you have to make sure to have the right keywords on your resume of the job you're applying to.
Exactly. And because computers are great, but sometimes they are stupid, we really want to have our resume. Sometimes they even ask specifically for the resume in Word format, so in an editable format. And this is why, because computers, artificial intelligence, they are super good in going through a Word format because they can read letter by letter, while if our resume were a PDF, could be a little bit more difficult. If we send our resume as a picture, it's gone. It won't read anything. So that's why. And so the question could be, how can I know if the company I'm applying to has this kind of system? You will see. They will ask you for some specific format for your resume. So for example, Word format, avoid pictures, don't send JPG, don't send JPEG. So you will see some signals in the job description that will tell you, wait, here we're probably going to face an ATS, we're probably going to face an artificial intelligence system. But the thing is that beside the layout, so of course we can see that the layout is pretty different, extremely visual, extremely
Two different models to have.
visual,
Yeah.
exactly. But what's inside, it's almost the same. So here, instead of what I put at the very beginning, instead of maybe a description phrase or something about me, I just put a series of keywords that describe my qualification, what I've done, what I would like to do, and so you can use different keywords like this, or you can easily and you can even write 4 or 5 lines of introduction describing what you have done. In my case, I could say mechanical engineer experienced in management, supply chain, work with projects for X million dollars, blah, 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 blah. And even if it's written, let's say, if it's a sentence, so not just a bunch of keywords, but it's actually something that you should read whole, you can highlight and make it bold the most important things. So mechanical engineer with specialization in supply chain management, and then in that case I would highlight supply chain management, and so on. So you can do these 2 things, either keywords, or you can write highlighting the most important sentence and keywords in your description. Does it make sense?
Making sure that the people that are looking at your resume are really looking at the right words that you want them to see.
Exactly. And yeah, for anyone who's connected, if you have any questions, you send us your resume, please just let us know. And ciao Fabrizio, nice to having you here. And okay, so moving on, work experience, exactly like the visual resume. So work experience before education, if you worked. And I'd like to keep very nice and clean, so 3 bullet points, no more, with numerical results. And I think that now we are ready to start watching at some of the resumes that we received.
And maybe right before that also, I remember when we were talking yesterday, you said that the real purpose of a resume is to market ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really great advice to have and to give, so really make sure that it's a 1 page that's really going to put you out there.
Yeah, no, that's extremely important. Let me share again. So in here, there will never be everything that I've done. There will never be everything that I studied and etc. But it doesn't matter because, as we were saying yesterday, this is a marketing document. This is not the place to describe in details everything that we have done. So if you think about that, when you have to buy a piece of furniture from IKEA, wonderful IKEA, you go to IKEA and why? Because you go there for convenience, because it's something smart, it's something convenient, and it's practical and it's easy to use, and etc. If they want to sell you a piece of furniture, they can either shoot you an advertising, like 30-second ads, or they can give you a document in which there are all the specifications, all the particular things and everything about that product. And you know how that document, it's called instruction booklet. It's the manual.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We are here making advertising. This is marketing. This is no instruction books. So I'm sorry, it's definitely the hardest part. But we need to make our resume 1 page. It's so important.
And it's actually challenging. So if you're watching now and telling yourself, oh, it might be hard for me to go from 2 pages or 3 pages to 1, well, I must admit that I'm also having this challenge of of having to shorten up my resume. So yeah, it's totally understandable, and with lots of motivation, you can get it done.
Yeah, and again, this is usually the part where we spend the most time, and this is my favorite quote, and it's so true for when you make a presentation, when you make a video, when you make a resume. This is my favorite quote by Pascal, a French philosopher. He said, "If I had more time, I would have written you a shorter letter. It takes so much longer to be synthetic.
Agreed. It's very, very true.
Okay, so among the people connected with us, did anybody of you send me or Aisha your resume? So we can start from your resume actually. We can look at that. Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, I see 12 people. So if you sent us a resume, let us know.
Yes, please. So we can go through that. In the meantime, I would start with one of the resume that you, Aisha, received, and from this lady, she is a graphic designer, and I think her resume is pretty interesting. And perfect. Dainal, we will go with your resume after this one.
And Amira, I have sent mine to Aicha. Perfect. We're seeing you.
Perfect. We're starting from yours.
Yay.
That's perfect. So this is a Amira resume. As of course we eliminated all the sensitive information. So let's have a look at that. What we see at the very beginning. So starting with the length. This is 2 pages. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So nice. A lot of contrast between colors, and I think it's good for a designer. And very good. We start with experience. We have a presentation about
the
herself,
presentation is great,
which is very good, and where she explains the what she has done and what she has achieved as a student, and what she would like to do next. Now, I think it comes the hardest part, as we were saying before. This resume needs to become just 1-page resume.
Which there is space for it to be 1 page.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a lot of space here. So even trying a different layout, for sure we will save a lot of space. I still think that she will probably need to erase and get rid of some of all the technical skills and stuff. Something for sure can be eliminated. And for example, this one, academic accomplishments. It's good that you have all of them. It's very good. This is probably like the courses that she has taken. But you already have work experience, as I see here. You know, from 2017, and then 2000. I mean, you have some experience. You have done something. Your work speaks so much louder than your studies and your exams. So if you have to start getting rid of something, you can start getting rid of those.
Or even interests.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it's nice if you find a way to keep the interests. And let me show you, for example, some of the potential examples here in this resume that I've done for this girl. For example, these are her hobbies, and we found a way to put it in a visual form. This saves you a lot of time. It gives a nice twist to the resume, and you still make it a little bit more personal. Because I'm a big fan of putting something personal in your resume. And please go.
Oh, thanks. So, and I was also going to say, since she is in graphic design, something that would be good is to add hyperlinks. So, for example, on the projects she worked on, let's say Hyde Park or Fuka Bay, having it as a hyperlink. Or also, if you have a portfolio or build maybe a website or link it to images that are on your LinkedIn about projects you worked on, that would be great also to have them as a hyperlink, especially that what you're doing is very visual.
Yes.
So if you have that possibility, it's good.
Yes, and I would like and I want to see you in the eyes when I say that, because Aicha, you just touched, I think, one of the most important point. This, as we said, is a marketing document.
Exactly.
If we have projects, if we have anything that people can actually go and see how we work and how we work, please put your hyperlink, create your online page, put and post everything on your LinkedIn. It is so much more powerful. Like if you had all of the projects that you have done and you can show them all the projects that you have done here in your
Exactly. If like
resume.
for privacy things, you can show them or not. Yeah.
Exactly. But if you can and you have this portfolio, your resume can be 2 lines. This is the link to my portfolio. You go and check. That's it. Nothing more is needed, because it is so much more powerful. People can actually see what you can do, and this is actually the reason why they will hire you. So try to reduce the resume a little bit, get rid of something. Then, for example, let me show you here. We have all of the softwares that you can use, which is very good. You can even save space going and get the logo for each of these software, and you paste the logo here. And I mean, people who are gonna see your resume, for sure, they will recognize the AutoCAD logo, the SketchUp, Photoshop, etc. So it's even a nice twist that you can give.
And I feel also that the example you gave of the other resume that you showed with the header of the page being the contact information, so like name and then phone number and contact information, that saves a lot of space, which is going to help Amira have it all into one page, like keeping the entire content and making it one page.
Exactly. I love the icons. I'm such a big fan of icons.
Agreed.
All right. How do you probably let me go through the chat. So,
yes, let's see if we have questions.
What we have.
Do you have any question?
Yeah, exactly. Amir, if you have any question, go ahead. And then we have some people who sent us their resume, and we're going to go through yours. I don't know how to make a resume. Just basically sent you the details. Okay, so I have my resume. Okay. How do you properly frame the object as a fresher? What do you mean? Like how like the importance that you need to give to each part of your career and your studies, or how to actually frame things, like a more technical tutorial how to do that on I don't know, like PowerPoint or something like that. This can be, if you Danielle, if you can, yes, let us know a little bit. But what did you get with this question, Aicha? Maybe it's me that
the one about how to properly frame the objective.
Yes.
So I understood it as a way, on the resume when you have that profile part, when you have the part that says, this is what I studied, this is what I'm looking for. Is it that, Danielle? For that one, if it's that specific case, how I usually frame it is I would put my background. So in my example, it would be global affairs and political science. And then I would follow it with professional experience in international organizations, like either NGOs or non-profit, depending on what you did, maybe private sector, or so just like one sentence about you on education or background, another one professional, and then the other one what you want to achieve.
Yes, that's very
understood. Don't hesitate to let us know. Oh yes, okay, perfect. That's
no, that was very on the spot, actually. So as
I'm looking at the comments on the phone.
Yes, I am, and I'm actually looking for resumes of okay, so I think I have I think I have yours, your resume, Danielle. If you give me just 1 second, because I need to erase all of your personal information. And okay, Okay, I think we can go with yours. So right here. Okay.
The name.
So yes, this is that's your. Let me go through. Okay. Okay. I just erased the name as well.
Perfect.
So let's go. Okay, Danielle, I think you would recognize this because this is your resume. Real important. Okay, of course it's 2 page. We want to have 1 page. Like here, you did something good. So there was your name, your contact information. Perfect. That's sweet. You can even choose a different layout here to again to save some space. It's good that you have your objective. Something that I would probably do. Let me see. Take challenge performance. Perfect. Okay, something that I would probably add here is some of your skills. Something. Let me see if you have some work experience. Yes, you do. Very interesting. So something that I would do is what did you learn? What are the most important things that you have learned with your degree and with your experiences? So as we can see here, you have supply chain management, environmental management training. So in a nutshell, add this to your description here, because we will see that in our webinar. We will see that in the future videos that I will make. We need to connect our name, our professional name, with the value. And let me frame this a little bit better. So if I tell you, who are you? I'm an engineer. Okay, that's it. It's a name. It's not a value that I'm actually bringing to the people who will hire me. So what I've done, I've been most of the times in supply chain management. So what I can add is I'm an engineer. My job is optimizing the research so to maximize the output and reduce the waste. Okay, this is more of a value that I'm bringing. Of course, you're bringing more than one single value, but try to frame what it is, the thing that you can do, even because of your study. So big experience in supply chain, or experience in supply chain plus college degree in petroleum engineer, and
So
put
like
it
bring in it like that, yeah.
exactly, and put it in your CV. And this is for everyone. This of course works for everyone. Let me go back here.
And also
Okay.
something that I noticed that regarding education, so really it's super impressive, the background. Something that would help making it shorter would be to put, so after 2021, comma, and then BE in petroleum engineering. So like bringing it up
Yes.
to gain more space. Instead of having each in 4 lines, making it 2 lines.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And yeah, and I would honestly, you can even get rid if you want of this, because this is the most important one, because this is your university, this is what you're doing right now. And yeah, and again, your experience up. Another thing that you will hear me say so many times is, please put some numerical results in your internship. So when you say, for example, learned about supply chain management and logistics, very good. What did you do? What was the project that you have done? What was the achievement of the project? Maybe you reduced the lead time. Maybe you reduced the inventory. Maybe there could be many things. I know, and this is very important, nobody of us has saved the world. So don't worry. I always feel like I'm not appropriate because, oh man, there are people who have done so much more than me. It's not important. What you have done, please, right there. And of course, probably it's not something that you have done on your own, because 99% of the times we work in
Of
teams,
teams.
but you were part of that team, so we achieved that. And yeah, that's very important. Some numerical results in your experience that can actually tell some value that you add to that company. And it has to be super, super short. Again, this is marketing. This is not the manual, the instruction
The
manual.
instruction book. Yeah.
And we have some other nice questions.
So let me go check
Let
through
me
the
let me
phone.
see. So, Nicholas, how many previous jobs are suggested to be shown? And here you see, Nico, that you have you're not a fresh graduate. So this is a problem, like for example, that I'm starting to have. Very interesting. So let me get my my resume, just because among the ones that we have here, I'm probably one of the oldest, so the one who have a little bit more work experience. So for example, it depends a lot. It depends a lot on the job that you are applying for, and it depends a lot. And because this is marketing, it depends a lot on where you work and what you did. So for example, if you let's talk about my case, for example. This was my first job experience. Okay, so it was my first year. It was extremely challenging, extremely formative. But this little horse here and these names here, it's known worldwide. If I tell anybody I worked for Ferrari, everyone knows it. If I said I'm working for Baker Hughes, I worked for GE, I was in the GE leadership program, blah blah blah. Maybe it's even more, the value that I brought to the company and what the company brought to me in terms of trainings, etc. It's extremely much more important. But I know that this horse and this name, in marketing terms, it's higher. I cannot do anything. So I'm sure even when I'm gonna be 50, this is still gonna be on my resume, just because of Ferrari. And so for example, if I had to cut, I would cut something here, and I actually did, because I didn't put all the jobs that I did in all these rotations. So go for the most interesting ones. Go for the one where you brought more value for the company. This is my suggestions. And you can twist it a little bit according to the company you are applying for. So if there is one job that you've done that is very similar to the one that you applied, okay, go for it and use it. And Aisha, do you have any other suggestions on that?
So yes, so actually that's something that I've been dealing with as well these past weeks, is that, okay, I have different experiences in sometimes different fields, sometimes they're a bit related, and I'm like, what should I keep, what should I remove? And something that I learned and that I keep learning about is really to focus. So let's say if I'm applying to something that's more humanitarian focused, I make sure to keep on my resume the information that are humanitarian focused. If it's more on the political science side or economy, I'd focus it on the economic background. So instead of having both, which are both of your different experiences can be interesting, but sometimes you have to tailor the resume to the person that's going to read it. Not sometimes, always, actually.
Yeah, no, that's extremely helpful. And okay, I wanted to go checking Mohammed CV, because and now let me share, because I removed the name and the last name. So Mohammed, if you're still connected, can you let me know if this is your resume?
From the message that I received, I know that Muhammad is teaching a class until 12:30 today. So he said he'll either join right after when he finishes teaching his class, or he'll watch the video after when it's going to stay recorded.
Okay.
But we can get up. Yeah, we.
Yeah, are we talking about the same Mohammed? Because this guy was here, Mohammed Fahmi.
Oh no, you were talking about the one in Egypt? Oh no, I was talking about the one in New York. Apologies.
Okay, yeah, no, we because we received many CVs, and of course,
Yeah.
sometimes the name are the same. So, Mohammed, if you can let me know if you're still here, if this is your resume, we can go through that. In the meantime, we have Alberto. Hello, I've worked in a few companies for. So Alberto is saying I have worked in a few companies for no longer than a year. Okay, how does that affect a possible job opportunity? I just sent you my own CV on LinkedIn. If you sent me like yesterday, I'm not sure I downloaded it because I received guys more than
Yeah.
more than 100 CVs, and it's long. So we're gonna go through. I'm gonna answer your question. We're gonna go through Mohammed's CV, and in the meantime, I'll start looking for yours if I have it. Otherwise, I'll need to postpone this to our next live, and I see a good amount of people, so we can definitely do that again.
Mohammed is here. I see. He said, yes, it is my resume.
Wonderful, wonderful. So just to answer Alberto's question real quick, and I think that it depends again on the company that you're going to apply. And so let me ask you this question: why did you work for no longer than 1 year in each company? So did you switch company to company? I mean, it's okay. It's no problem, especially at the beginning of our career, at the beginning of our job journey. We don't know anything about job. We don't know anything about the work environment, and it is so common not to to think that a company is something, that a job is something, and then it just turned out not to be the right thing for us. Again, my personal opinion, I would have gone even working for free at Ferrari. It was my dream. It was amazing. Then it has been a super cool, a super great experience. But then I realized that in that moment, for me, it wasn't something that I wanted to keep on doing. And so there could be, it's not a problem, the fact that you've changed many companies. Try again to see, according to the job that you would like to do next, which is the most important ones. Then if you had, and this for example happens with people that had done multiple internships during their, and they don't know which one to put, you can even try to twist a little bit and put like multiple jobs, and or maybe put don't put the company, but just put, if you always have if you had the same title, if your job was the same in multiple companies, you can just put the title from this year to this year, multiple companies, between bracket, you put the two companies, and you put your achievements there, so you can maybe combine two jobs in two different companies if your job title was the same or close to be the same. Aicha, if you want to add something, if you have some suggestions on that, it's a particular case, I think.
Yeah, I think on this case, I agree with you on all of the points, so I wouldn't have a point to add. But sometimes also some people find themselves having different experiences or being with different companies in the same year, especially when they're studying, because they're either interning or passing, sometimes with each semester comes a different opportunity. And I feel that, especially if you're a fresh graduate, don't hesitate to put it.
Yes, and especially now I'm looking at Alberto's in the chat. He said the reason was because the bad economic crisis, and let me go back to this because I would like to see your resume, like the job that you did. But especially, I think you're one of the guys from the webinar. So you probably work in my same field, so oil and gas. In that case, they know, like people know. And actually, if when you were laid off, or where your contract was terminated, between jobs, if you did something else, even something that is absolutely not related, I have friends who were field engineers. Then the downturn of oil came. They started working for Starbucks, and they were engineers. and then they applied again. But the fact that you did maybe a job that it's not even related to that, I think it can add to your story, because you're someone who's not waiting and who doesn't think that he's overqualified to get his hands dirty. So
it shows also that you have the willingness to work.
Exactly. And so I think we need to find the right way to put it, but it's pretty good. Of course, if you have too many jobs, just go for the one more related to the engineering field. Okay, then I will look for your resume. I hope that this was helpful. And Mohammed, let's get to you.
Mohammed, okay, let's do this.
All right. So I think you can see the resume. All right. So Word format, which is okay. If you want to spend more time and you want to do something fancy like the visual one, the one that we see here, feel free to do that. But Word is okay. So summary: fast learner, hard work. Okay, very good English. Okay, this is good. Then education, extracurricular activities, trainings, and internship. Again, two things that we always say: one page and work experience first. So in this case, I would be very interested in your trainings and internships, and I would try to add some bullet points with your numerical achievement during the internship. Then, if you don't have any numerical achievement, try to state here the skills that you have learned. Introduction to geographic information system. Okay. Then did you learn to use any other software? Were you working on shifts? So for example, you can say that you learn to work on shifts. So, when you have to work at night, sometimes when we are on field, we do that. And any skills, anything that you learned during your trainings and internships, it's very important, and we can put it maybe even at the top.
And also, I feel that with Mohammed's resume, what can be done, it could be very easy to actually have it into one page and gathering all of the information. I'm actually thinking of a design that would have, one page, and then you would have a column, like two different columns, one shorter, and the other one wider. So on that one, you could have on the side like the profile on top, and then education. And then on the other side, so let's say, I'll just take this as an exactly. And then on the other side, you'd have the professional experience and internships and trainings.
Yeah, now these are some of the models, and I will share all of these models with all of you after the webinar. So for example, this is a model that I've done for some Italian students. And beside the fact that this is in Italian, of course, but something like this. So personal description, contacts, skills, work experience, instructions. And by the way, this guy was a fresh graduate, almost a fresh graduate. So as you can see, the education part is longer than I would like it to be. But when you are a fresh graduate, okay, because I would like work experience as long as possible, and education, it is very important, but again, and so if you want something visual, you can try to do something like this. I will share with you the all of these templates after the webinar, and you can even try to do that yourself. Of course, there are some good resources out there, like Build My Resume and Canva. In Canva, they actually have something. They are not as customizable, of course, as having your own.
But it's still a good tool.
It is still a good tool, like a very good tool. If we want to go back to the Word template, here there could be your personal description, where you highlight your summary, maybe in a more descriptive way. So you actually write the whole paragraph, highlighting this quality. And again, this is all very good. What I would try to add is your value as a professional. Remember, I'm an engineer. My job is to reduce waste and maximizing the output. So, you're a petroleum engineer, I guess, or something, in that area. So please state that and think about the value that you can add to the company. Something that I would, you can get rid of some of these skills, and maybe try to find a more visual way to put your skills.
I was going to say, so with the little bubbles, for example, or even having for Microsoft Word, Excel, you could have them all combined as Microsoft Pack, so that it combines it all. And also for the languages, I was thinking of what you're showing here, Pietro, with the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is pretty. It is very visual and it tells a lot. Then, if you have certifications of these languages, I mean, it's good, but you can mention that during the interview. It's not that important that you say that in the CV. So let me go here again. Okay, courses. Okay, if you need to get rid of that, get rid of that. Something, if to have everything in one page. Something that I would keep is, again, choose on the extracurricular activities something that brings value to your position and to your skills. So, for example, here you say that you can communicate very well. Perfect. Here I see vice president, for example. Did you manage and did you organize any events? Did you do did you organize any events? Did you take care of presenting or pitching your university to students or to something that actually proves in fact that you can actually be a good communicator? And if every one of us might have some of these examples, so try to put that.
And also I had a comment here, Pietro, was that regarding his courses, he could, Mohammed could put them on his LinkedIn. So you can also hyperlink, so remove them from your resume to gain space. But on your LinkedIn profile, there's always the section that has courses that you could add.
Yes.
And also you could hyperlink your LinkedIn profile into your resume. And I'm reading here Amira's comment concerning the hyperlinks with the projects in my resume. If I don't have access to show all the projects I have worked on, is it okay to have some linked and some not? Yes, of course. Link the ones that you can, and the ones that you don't, of course, it's understandable. It's for privacy or company reasons. And for the other question,
which is very interesting, yes, which is when we said before to Amira,
regarding AI.
We said instead of putting all of the names of the software that she can use, just put the logos. And she said, okay, but what if the artificial intelligence cannot read my logo?
Great question.
This is very good, and that's why I always ask people to prepare 2 different resumes. One visual, which is pretty much the one that you sent us, and one in this Word format. And again, let me know later, let me know in the comment, and I can share this model as well with you. So one visual and one like this. So if we find in our job description, if we find any of the alarms, any sign that the company might actually use an artificial intelligence and ATS system to track our resumes, well, then we can go and act and send the Word resume, or the non-visual one, this one right here.
Agreed.
let me see. We have some other questions, and then let's go back to one of the CV that people sent to you, Aisha. Let me try to take this question from Hamzat. Hello, I am a second year student, and I've mentioned my volunteer experience on my resume. I want to ask, should I mention there? What I have learned during this experience? Okay, that's extremely good. So Hamzat says, I worked on. I have a volunteer experience, and should I mention that in my resume? And if I did, should I also put what I've learned from that? And my answer is absolutely yes. Especially if it's linked to what you're gonna do as a professional. But even if the volunteer experience is completely different from what you're gonna do as a professional, probably in your time volunteering, you probably have interacted with many other people. So that could be a proof that you can work on team, that you learned team working. You probably pitched something if you volunteer to someone else. So that could be a proof that you can speak in public. And Aisha, do you want to add anything to that?
I was also going to say, so usually regarding volunteer work, there are two different ways people do it. So one, as Pietro perfect said, you would keep your skills that you learned. And sometimes it's also putting the name of the organization and the year. That depends on if you're having the space for it or not. But it also shows that you're actually passionate about something, that you're willing to give from your time and help within that. So yeah, I would say keep volunteer both on your resume and on your LinkedIn page.
Yes, and that's absolutely useful. Now, let me. I see you very dark, Aisha.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know why first.
Okay, now better.
Yeah.
And
Do you
guys,
see
thank you very much for the
Changed for a bit.
participation. Yes. And wow, it's almost 1 hour. Guys, thank you very much for the participation. It's if you have any other question, please go. And okay, we have another one from Jorge on the ATS, and as we said, we want to have 2 different resumes in case we will apply for.
Exactly.
And then another thing, don't be too scared about the ATS, because a lot of times when companies have a sort of ATS, if you have applied, if ever happened to you, you're applying and they ask you, okay, for example, Google does this. Send us your resume if you want, and you attach your resume, and then they have a bunch of questions, like 100 questions on your university, on what did you do after university, all your work experience, everything, and you ask yourself, why am I sending you my resume if you're asking me everything? And this is because most of the time they have the internal system, which is not even based on the resume that you're sending, but on the answers to that questions. So I know it's super annoying, but in that case can be a good chance to send our visual resume and to answer all of the questions. So the automatic selection will be done based on the question that we answered. But then if our resume, if we will pass that first stage, our resume will be given in the hands of a human being, and in that case we really want to have a visual resume rather than a regular Word format one. Okay, Aisha, let's get to someone else.
I was thinking, let's check Lamis.
Yes, let me see. Let me just get the. Let me see what I put. All of your resumes, guys. So many. All right, CV, no names, live today. We said Lamis. Here we go. And let me share the screen so you can see.
Perfect.
Okay, and guys, again, if you have any questions, anything, just ask and we will go through that. So now you should be able to see the resume. Couple of things about about this resume. So this is pretty dense, as you can see. So this is one page, which is perfetto, which is
Nailed
very
it.
good. Yes.
Done well.
Yeah, and you know, address, telephone, mail, bam, everything at the very beginning. Okay. Then there is something that I would change for sure. What is it? Like, bam, what is the first thing that I would change?
Are you asking me, or are we making them guess in the comments?
Let me see if we don't have too much lag on the chat. Yeah, try to answer in the chat, guys. What is the first thing on this CV that I would immediately change? And yeah.
So in the meantime, I'd tell you decreasing the bullet points and putting experience first.
And that's it. That was exactly the thing that I was thinking about. So experience first. Another thing that I would do, and that I would suggest all of you guys to do, is right here, after the name, under the name, here, put your job title.
For example, graphic designer,
exactly.
Consultant.
Okay, guys.
Any keyword describe you.
Exactly. Yes, guys, I'm very, very proud of you. We have it's students, and then we're experience before education. Exactly.
Champions, people.
Nailed it. And this is, for example, Lamis has a super interesting experience. We're gonna go through that a little bit more in details. But the thing is that, for example, myself personally, I cannot tell at the very beginning, bam, just by watching in 2 seconds, what is that Lamis does, the job title. So if we go through the curriculum, if we go through the CV, we see that to me it's impressive. I mean, Lamis nailed. She nailed so many things, and so for example, let me go here and let me explain what I mean. She has such a hard technical background: Python, MySQL, HTML, CSS, Oracle, user interface, fluent in English and Arabic. So many hard skills. Something from a software perspective, something very hard technical. But at the same time, she has something extremely linked to marketing, entrepreneurship. So pitched my startup at the Innovation Campus at the NYU. Then we can see here, project manager, product development, business development, something very...
She combines both sides, technical and
Yes. So and something that I would like to see here, first the job title. So exponential thinker, a project manager. What is the job title that describes you better? Put it here, first thing. Then your experience, it's such great. Put it before your education. And then I would even add some personal statement at the very beginning. Why not? The equivalent of this. Okay. In this case, writing, a paragraph of your personal statement where you actually stress and underline the fact that you combine these two skills so well together. So hard skills, and this is all the things that you can do at the same time. So many soft skills and marketing skills. So I mean, this CV, it's great.
Also another point that you raised yesterday, Pietro, when we were looking at it, was that, and we put it in bold, the increase the sales by 20%. She also puts results with numbers in her resume, which is great.
Yes. No, that's very good. And again, the fact that she speaks Arabic, it can be, it's very good. And then I'm sorry, but you need to reduce the bullet points. So let this CV breathe. Let's have some blank space as well. Uh, Again, of course, this is not perfect. My resume, it is not perfect, but you can see it's synthetic. Something you go, bam, you see 120K savings a year, reduced by 21%. We put it bold, and she can do the same thing here, reducing the number of bullet points. Find the very important things, like for example here, what was the one about the CEO here? Build a sustainable professional business for blah blah blah. Okay, we can eliminate the name of Tenable. You already have it here for the company. Increase sales by 20%. Bam, that's it. That's the thing that I want to see. Consulted the CEO in decision making. Raised. Did you actually raise then 500K? If you did, bam, raised 500K, tac, bold. And that's it, enough. Let's move to the next one. And few things, but let them breathe, because you have so many things, so many super cool things that you have done. But right here, it's too dense, and I'm lost. I don't see everything at the very, with just 2 seconds. So this is extremely good. Then, please, Aisha.
Sorry, I was going to jump on a question that was related to what you were saying regarding the languages. So Amira asked in her resume, since she's a graphic designer, she didn't think about having languages because her background is more technical. But I'd say even if your background is in engineering or in design, I'd say keep languages, because it also shows the company that you'll be applying to that you can work with clients that speak different languages.
Yes. No, absolutely. Yeah. If you can put the languages, of course. And this is, for example, if we look at my resume, this is a mistake that I made in my resume, for example. Something that I can improve. I didn't put that I speak Italian as well, because this is a resume that it was 100% customized on something, on American jobs, etc. So I just put the Italian flag here, so I have a double degree. So hopefully you will understand that I speak Italian too. I have a super Italian name, and I usually in Italy, if you apply to big companies, you send your resume in English. So for example, if this resume has to be sent from my side to any big companies in Italy, okay, I mean, from my resume, you understand that I can speak English. From my double degree, you understand that I can speak English because I was in America, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then you just assume that I can speak Italian because I'm Italian. But if I had to send this resume here in the United States or any place abroad, I would probably add here I have the space, Italian and English. Unfortunately, I don't speak any other language.
But
some Spanish because of the reggaeton, but
nice. Yeah, reggaeton always helps.
Yeah, very, very. You can imagine, like with a vocabulary from the reggaeton going to a job interview. That would be
not the best vocab for an interview.
That would be fun. And okay, so Lemis, she's here. So and congrats, Lemis. Like really,
great resume, really.
Amira said, okay, I never thought. Yes, please, Amira, put your languages as well. Then, do we have any other question? We want to take one more resume, maybe. Someone else.
He had the one from Asad. I remember he said that he would be looking at the live after.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
That one was a good mix between public health and policy or data analysis.
Okay. Let me see, because let's see, what is it? No. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Very guys, I have so many CVs.
He actually, let me just say that because you're very humble, but I just want to say that Pietro really like received hundreds of resumes and CVs in his on his LinkedIn, and he's literally taken the time to help people. Like he's not saying it because he's humble, but I'm saying it literally. Virtual claps to you, Pietro.
Thank you, no, thank
Yeah,
you, and thank you, and again, Aisha, thank you for being here. Thank you for collecting some of that, and
of course.
it's very nice. So, guys, let's jump in this CV, and let's see. Here we go. This is Assad CVs. Okay, and then we have a super interesting question from Jorge, and I would even like to take this question maybe before the jumping in this CV. So Jorge is saying, it's my opinion that I would tailor this very well done for each position. Giving further details in this position are more related to the role you're applying for. So essentially, this is the evergreen questions on CV, the evergreen doubt that we have on the CV. Do I make one CV for all, okay, or do I make different CVs for each company? So do I have to make one CV and send this CV for all the companies, or for each companies do I need to make a different CV? The answer, and again, this here we go back to the fact that this is marketing and this is not science. 1 + 1 = 2. So because of the fact that this is marketing, sometimes there is not a fixed rule. What we can say from experience, or what we can say from all of the resumes that I've seen, and best practice in the industry, we can have a common ground, a common baseline. Like 90% of your CV will always be the same, and then we can tailor some specific characteristics according to the job we are applying to. So what my answer would be is, for sure I would like you to have 2 resumes, the visual and the Word one. Okay, so the one for the ATS and the one visual, tailored, and each one needs to reflect all of the characteristics that we said: numerical results, education, and work experience before educations, personal statement, keywords, numerical results, numerical results, numerical results. Did I say numerical results?
One more time.
And numerical results as well, and short, 1 page, and then 80% of that resume will always be constant, let's say. And then according to the different role, you can tailor and fine-tune just the parts that you would like to highlight. Do you want to add anything?
Oh yes, I was going to add also, so having if you're applying to different jobs, another thing that you could be doing is having that same resume that you have, but going over it and creating a new version of it with some keywords that you find in the job application. So let's say if within the job application they're asking for a specific skill, make sure that you edit your bullet points so that it matches the.
You touched a so important part. So if you go through my YouTube channel, you will see that all of my first videos, they are all in Italian, because I started doing this thing when I was in Italy, and I have a bunch of like 8-10 videos which are all tailor-made on, and they're all made, it's like a course on how to find a job, So unfortunately everything, it's in Italian. I will start making that in English as well. And for example, the course is divided into 3 parts. It's SMS: study, marketing, and storytelling. So the study, the study part is the first part, where you study the company, you study yourself, and you find what is your value and what is the value that will add to your company. In that part, we will develop something that I call the skill matrix, which is actually going through the job descriptions, see all of the keywords that they are asking, and see, for example, if you want to apply to 5 different companies, you go through the job description for those 5 companies. You put in a matrix all of the skills that they require, and then you cross each skill for which of the company is required. And then you will see that there are some skills that are required by all of the company. Perfect. This is a skill that you want to put in your CV.
Exactly.
And so that's a super good point. And read the job description so many times. This is something, it seems trivial, it seems stupid, but we are so focused on other things that we most of the time forget to do that. A lot of times the answer is there.
Exactly. And it's really worth it to do that.
Yes. And nice question. And then I swear, Assad, we're gonna go to your CV from Daniel. Is it necessary to add our photo to the resume? Nice questions. So, and yes and no. I like it, especially if we're talking about a visual resume. So yes, we can add our photo. The fact is that, let's say, to put it in a nutshell, unless otherwise stated, I would put my picture. So unless they tell me, please do not put your picture, okay, then I would go on. Unless the etiquette, unless the country where I'm applying, I know that it's a country that they don't like to have pictures on the resume, okay, then I wouldn't put that. But unless these particular cases, I would definitely go for the picture, even because simply there is my name on the resume. Everybody, all of us, we have LinkedIn and we have our pictures on LinkedIn. So if they want to see my picture, they just Google my name or just LinkedIn my name. Aicha, I know that you, in your experience, you probably can add something more to it.
Oh yes, perfect. Thanks, Pietro. So what I was going to say is that it really also depends on the countries. And as you said, I feel like, and from what I noticed, in Europe and in North Africa, Middle East, they would prefer a resume with a picture. However, in North America, I noticed that it's without pictures. Most of the times, at least in the political science field, business, economy, it would be without pictures. So yeah, and as I said, you can also put a resume without a picture and hyperlink your name, which will take it to your LinkedIn page where there is your picture, a professional and smiley one.
Yes. No, that's super good. That's super nice answer. And again, especially I like your experience in the political science sector, and which is very different from mine. You know, I'm a hard mechanical engineer industry. And for example, I applied for many positions with my resume, visual resume with my picture, never had a problem, even here in North America. So it really depends. It really depends. Sometimes we make we make ourselves too much problems. We create too much problems that actually are. If, for example, they don't like resumes with photo, and you put your resume with photo, okay, they might say, better without it. But it's not that you're gonna be put out of the competition and put aside just because you put your pictures. It's way more important, for example, to have the right bullet points, very easy to understand what you're doing, etc.
Exactly. Agreed.
And okay, Assad, let's get to you.
Let's do this.
And in the meantime, I have Jorge and Daniel, and I will get to you right after Assad's CVs. Okay, guys, let's see. What can you see here? What do you see? What would you change? I have some things that I would change, and but the stage is yours. Let me know in the chat what you would change about this CV. As you can see, it starts with the education, and this is okay. This is a spoiler. You already know that I like experience before education.
But in his case, it's good to have the education first, as it's ongoing, and it's a doctorate in public health. So it actually shows, it gives the background of the person.
That's it. That's it. It was a tricky question. This
We
mine.
got you. Tricky question.
No, because and that's why I'd like to show you this resume, because I think this is one of the extremely rare cases in which I would condone and I would even encourage to have education before experience, because we're talking about a doctorate that it's
In
still
public health, yeah.
ongoing. So one thing that I would add, it is right here again, the description, something, doctorate in public health. Or I know that he's saying this here, but as you can see, we have so many things that he's saying here, so it can get lost. Because when we watch a CV, it's like when we watch a thumbnail for a YouTube video or something like that. You don't actually start reading from top to bottom everything. You like skimming around. You just you just go through it casually, and if something catches your attention, you maybe look more into this line because something catches your attention. You don't start taking a CV and reading through that. The average time is 6 to 8 seconds for each CV, the time that people spend looking at that.
That's why scary, actually.
That's very scary, and that's why it's so important to guide the eye of the person who's watching our resume, and guide it through what we want them to see. So that's why I would add here the title. Then, as Jorge is saying in chat, too much text. Exactly. And again, we need to find something here that we can eliminate. And right here, it's too small. For example, relevant courses. Okay, interesting, but you are doing a doctorate, and I think the courses, I'm not sure, but probably the courses are before, they refer to a previous period, probably during the university and stuff. If they are not so extremely important, just get rid of them. Get rid of all of them.
And also here again, it could be the interesting courses could be seen in details on your LinkedIn page.
Exactly. Let's use LinkedIn as much as possible, and then here on the experience, nice. What I would like to see, if it's possible, numerical results. Mm-hmm. So assist directly in implementing courses, service, intake, blah blah blah. Okay, how many, for example, how many courses, how many people did you have in your classes? Try to put some numerical things to give it a sense of even more practical, because again, it's a very good resume, and Assad has done so much. I mean, look at it. He has done so much.
He works a lot.
Yeah, and we need to frame it properly. And I know, Assad, that this is going to be so hard for you, and because you spent so much time doing all of these things, but we need to get rid of a lot of them. Because it, and then, for example, we have do we have references here? No, okay, like additional experience, all of these, it's good, put it on your LinkedIn, and maybe just select few of all of these experiences that you think, the one that you think are most valuable to you, and the one you think are most valuable for the jobs that you're going to apply, and try to shrink and reduce. And again, guys, it's just a few set of things that we need to pay attention to, but they are so important. Again, one page, numerical results, few bullet points, the most important things. And I don't know if he put some skills. He didn't. Okay, so for example, these experiences can be used as a proof of some skills that he has. Aicha, would you like to add anything else?
At the moment, no. What I was going to say is, as you said, shortening it, and maybe also something that I thought about was using maybe a color code. So having the titles, having the title that he had in a specific color, like one color throughout the resume. I know that some people also do that.
Okay.
So it would be text, but it would add a visual and attract the eye to the different jobs that the person had.
Yes, yes, no, definitely, definitely. That's important. And let me see if I have something visual that can be taken. Like for example, this could be something, you know, where we have a kind of different colors. But again, yes, that is something that he can definitely do. And let me go back to the CV. All right. Yes. It's pretty. Yeah. Some of the experiences are longer. Some are shorter. So again, evaluate which are the most important ones. And again, leave space. Let the CV breathe.
Breathe. That's how I remember it. Breathe.
And guys, thank you very much for being here. Wow.
For the ones that we didn't check the resume, so for example, I know on my end that I received the one from Carmen and one from Mohammed. I'm going to send you guys voice messages tonight with
Yes.
what we talked about yesterday, Pietro and me. So I'm going to send you that. I owe you that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if you want, Aisha, I will for sure do other sessions here. If you wanna participate, I would love to. I would love you
Perfect.
to.
Let's continue that. Yeah.
And guys, it's wow, 1.5 hour. So if you have one more question, maybe we can take that. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and for all of this time. If you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, if you didn't
Yes,
do that
please guys,
already,
subscribe to his channel, follow his Instagram page. It's called, if I remember, Tales of Startup.
Tales of Startup, yes, which
Yeah.
I then realized it's actually even wrong in English because it means an S, but it doesn't matter. We like it. We like it that way. We like it that way.
We like it.
No, and beside the because many more videos are coming out, many more lives are coming out on resumes, and what I would like to do is redo in English all of the course that I've done in Italian. So we're gonna go through how to choose a company, how to find what the company like, how to market ourselves. So how to write a perfect resume, a good cover letter, and how to enhance and increase and maximize our online presence with LinkedIn. So study marketing, and the final part, the most important one, I call it storytelling. So how to actually get hired from the company. So this means which are the most important questions. How do I prepare for a job interview? How do I prepare for a group interview? And yes, I did all of that. I have probably 2, 3, 4 hours courses, if you put together the different videos in Italian, and I would like to do that in English too. So
Champion.
if you don't want to miss any of the content coming out, if you want to keep on asking me questions, see you on LinkedIn, Instagram here. And I know we have a little bit of a lag. If we don't have any other questions, I think that Aisha, I will let you free to go and go back to your day. And I will actually go back working on the CV that I'm redoing for the webinar. There was one winner for this for the CV challenge, and I'm doing her CV. I'm transforming her CV, and probably will choose another one before the webinar.
Best of luck with that, Pietro. Best of luck with everything, and thanks a lot for having me on your live.
Thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for being
Yeah,
here.
thanks everyone. Yeah, for the questions, the comments.
Yeah, definitely. I'll see you all very, very soon. Have a nice day, and as always, fai a modino.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.